swifter than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
All right. Hey, it's Walter from iWalter, and I'm going to do a show tonight. Now, I had texted a young lady named Stephanie Grace, and I told her I wanted to kind of talk about her. I actually saw her last night. She's from around here, meaning Pennsylvania. I'm going to say a lot. I know I will right now. So, yeah, it was funny. A friend put it up on Facebook about Stephanie Grace playing around here. I've never really heard of her, honestly. And very lovely young lady. I saw her last night live. She had a free show, and she will have another one. Last night it was actually, I can't remember the place. It was like a dine-in place, but she played there, and it was incredible. I heard a little bit of her stuff online. I don't want to go into it fully because I had a couple other things first. I want to get out of the way and just go back to Stephanie. It's Stephanie Grace. She's a local country singer from Douglasville, Pennsylvania. So it's not that far from where I live, and it was really cool because she's got an incredible voice. Very, very friendly person too. Very lovely lady. Anyway, I told her I was going to do kind of mention her a little bit, maybe just dedicate a show. So I'm going to do that because I did promise her that. Not that it's going to help her at all because I really have no listeners. It was funny. I got up really late today. I was like a little bit like I could not sleep last night. I think it's a change of weather, so I'm like a little bit disheveled, I guess what you would say. I don't know. So yeah. So I'm still a little bit out of it. I got my hair cut today for folks who really don't care, but I got my hair cut today. It's great. I go to this place. Unfortunately, it's the only one open on Sundays, but they do a great job. It's a barbershop called Sal's. And there's one down near Plymouth Meeting Mall right before that on Germantown Pike. And I couldn't really go there after a while. It was just like their times were horrible. And every time I got there, they would either close early or it was just times I couldn't get there. So I ended up going to a different barbershop around Valley Forge. And now that one's not open on Sundays because I'm on a regular work schedule. I was, working my other job where I was, pretty much like from 4 to 12:30 at night, 4 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. And I don't have that job right now. I'm hoping to get it back. So I'm working at this other job. It's both jobs are pharmaceutical companies. Not really what I want to do. Just in case Stephanie will listen in, I went to school for English communications. I kind of texted her that because for other people, they've heard this a million times. And, I did not get anything in my field of entertainment. So I ended up just taking a job my father helped me get. And that was working for at a pharmaceutical company, basically as a glorified janitor, in my opinion. And I think it still holds that title. No, I'm not really a janitor, but I'm like the next best thing to a janitor. Probably a step below a janitor to be sarcastic about it, the whole thing. So anyway, I pulled up Stephanie's profile on her official page. I mean, this is really cool. But there was a couple of things that kind of distracted me from getting to this point or actually doing it. And I promise I'm not going to do any reading the stories. Now, I would encourage some people that Election Day is probably not this week, but it's the following Tuesday. So a week from this coming Tuesday is Election Day. So, it's very important that people actually go out and probably vote. Now, hopefully they vote in my direction, what I would think how you should vote, but I don't know. We will see. We will see. I will keep that I won't say anything like I normally do, again, because I'm trying to dedicate this to Stephanie, and sometimes it's best not to mention. Normally, in case she would listen in, politics and complaining about issues are my main theme for my shows. That's why I only get actually, maybe if I'm lucky, 5 or 6 people. And if I'm really lucky and I have other people listen in, if I do a show on Stephanie, maybe she'll get her family and relatives to listen in and probably say, well, what is this guy talking about? But at the same time, I might get some more, maybe 50 or 60. I think she's got a little bit of quite a bit of a following, which is actually good. It's actually really good. Okay, I just lost my. Going to make sure I'm actually recording because I use this video podcast thing set up. Now, it was funny. My friend Matt, he went along last night, and he was showing me some podcasts, some people, to a guy and a woman and a guy and a gal. Dude, they're comedians out in California. They do a podcast. Now, their podcast looks incredible. It's high definition, everything. You won't get that here. This is so generic that homeless people laugh at me. That made no sense. I'm sure Matt will reinstate that probably when he listens to this. So, yeah, Matt, I understand it made no sense. So, anyway, tonight it was funny. I was going in. My parents were watching TV. I'm 51 years old. I'm back at home. Everybody's heard that a million times. So my parents are watching. My mother is watching Galaxy Quest. She didn't know what it was. It's like, well, this is a parody with Tim Allen of Star Trek, making fun of Star Trek. By the way, my lovely lady, which I don't know if you can see it, I'll point my sonic screwdriver from Doctor Who at it. The new Doctor Who, it's glaring at her face. She is on tonight, but I'm going to wait until later on because that's on BBC America. And I hate to say it, they have so many damn commercials. An hour show or a 50-minute show is almost 2 hours because they put as many commercials as long as the show is because you're doing that to make money. But unfortunately, I don't care. I'll wait and I'll watch it when it comes on iTunes because I have iTunes behind me, the Apple TV, I should say, not iTunes. Well, you can get it on iTunes as well. And I'd rather watch it there. Fortunately, I won't be doing that until tomorrow morning. So, I can't remember what I was going to say. I got distracted from some noise in the background, which I expected to happen. So, anyway, Galaxy Quest. I love that movie almost. Not like I'll go buy it. That's one movie I didn't buy. I liked it. I loved it a lot because I'm not a big Tim Allen fan, but I am actually a fan of Sigourney Weaver. I really did like her in Alien movies. The one she played in. Actually, more so Aliens, the second one. The other ones, I don't know. They're okay. First one was pretty damn good. But, she was the main character in those movies and some other stuff. So that kind of distracted me. I have the incredibly boring life, so I'm trying to figure out what to watch. Now, right now, I've been going through, I might have mentioned this other day, I was watching some Hammer films. Now, if you have cable and you have AMC, which most people do, depending if you have Comcast or Verizon or whatever. We have Verizon Fios at home. What was I going to say? You can get AMC without all the commercials. You can get all these movies. Well, guess what? They're showing all these Hammer films. For those who don't know, Hammer films are it's like Hollywood of England. So England could not get a lot of rights to most of the horror films that were really big a couple decades ago, like Dracula, Frankenstein. I guess I would say Phantom of the Opera, probably Invisible Man. Who else was there? Well, anyway, The Mummy. So they couldn't get rights. Hollywood would not release the rights for these these creatures. So Hammer basically came up with their own version of these monsters. And the movies are a little bit, like most British stuff can be a little bit stuffy for some people, but it's definitely entertaining. So I was mentioning to my friend Matt, there was a Hammer film I saw the other night. It was on AMC. It was uncut. It was free. So hey, I'm there, and I watched it. It was like the main person who played, like, it was two different actors, which were both in, I believe, both. At least one was in the Star Wars, the original Star Wars movie, and I think even a Rogue One. They actually, because the actor was dead or deceased, I should say, being a little bit more less upfront about it. But he played Victor Frankenstein, and I can't remember. So I'm gonna look it up. And I should know this because I'm a big fan of this particular actor. See him in front of me, but I'm not seeing his name. But Christopher Lee is another famous British actor who actually played Dracula. And he actually played the monster or the creature of Frankenstein and other creatures was Christopher Lee. Really good actor. Now, here's something interesting. In one of the Hammer films, the actor or the stunt guy who played Darth Vader, because there was two people. There was the voice of Darth Vader in the original films, even the one they presented him in the recent films. But the actor who was in the costume for Darth Vader actually played Frankenstein in one of the Hammer Frankenstein movies. So, because Christopher Lee generally played the monsters in every movie, including, obviously, Dracula, which he was best known for. But he actually played in some other things, too. Now, I'm still drawing a blank on Peter Cushing. Thank you, Walter. I had to remind myself. Peter Cushing. Now, I remember, because I'm a big, for those who already know, and if Stephanie listens in again, I'm a big fan of Doctor Who. I grew up with that since at the age of 12. I'm 51, and I've never stopped loving the show. So one time at the height back in the 60s with Doctor Who, they made two Doctor Who movies that BBC did not give the exclusive rights for everything. So what they did call it Doctor Who, though, but they didn't have the rights for the police box or anything. The internal guts of the police box, which is, for those who don't know, is the TARDIS, if you watch Doctor Who. So, excuse me, I'm getting a little, been kind of like this change of weather. So, anyway, they decided to pick Peter Cushing as the actor to play Doctor Who on these movies. They were called Doctor Who and the Daleks. There was two different movies made back in, I think, 66. And it was like a couple years later, they made a sequel to that. Now, the Daleks were owned by, I think, Terry Nation. He's the exclusive person who actually created this monster to look like a pepper pot. If you watch Doctor Who, that creature was brought back numerous times on the new series, not as well as the old one. The Daleks have been around since episode 2 on Doctor Who, which would be 1963. For those who don't know and aren't interested in the history, I'm going to give it to you. Doctor Who came out on November 23rd, 1963, and it was actually the same day that we heard around the globe about John F. Kennedy being shot. So because of that, not many people they didn't have that many viewers for Doctor Who, so they had to re-show the show a week later because the news definitely was more. People were tuning in to find out about the assassination of John F. Kennedy. That seemed to kind of pique people's interest more so than a science fiction television program for kids. So anyway, that's a little brief history on that. Maybe gives you a little bit about me as well. So anyway, I do want to get back to Stephanie. She does have a bio. I'm afraid to read it because you know what? I start reading stuff and I stumble on the words and I just sound like an idiot, which is not that difficult to do for me. So anyway, last night we got back from seeing Stephanie playing out around in Pottstown, and she's going to be playing again, and she was very lovely to meet. But anyway, we got home, and then Matt wanted to come in the house a little bit. He wanted to just kind of BS because he lives by himself, so obviously, it's kind of nice to intermingle with somebody, besides working all the time, because he has his own business, so he doesn't have much time to talk to many people. He's pretty much on the road, doing his job. So he's, because he's a teacher that goes to your house. So I'll give him a plug, musicteacherguy.com. I think it's themusicteacherguy.com. I forget. Matt will remind me. So anyway, it was kind of cool. We ended up watching some movie that I bought on iTunes a while back. And guess what? I never watched it. It was called Summer of 1984, or Summer of 84. And we watched that, so we were up a little late. And then when he left, I was just like so wired for sound, I couldn't go to sleep. I was up most of the night, tossing and turning. I didn't get any sleep. Because, you start talking to people, you have friends in the house, and a friend in the house, you just kind of like, time kind of goes quickly that way, because I guess he didn't leave until 1 or 2. I can't remember. And then I was just like so wired for sound. I tried to go to bed, and I was like, it's not going to work. So anyway, we were stumbling through Netflix as well. Hey, Walt, is there anything on there we could watch? And I was like, really? No. And I actually did want to contact Stephanie because I really enjoyed seeing her perform, even though me and Matt, unfortunately, couldn't really hear her too well. There was just so much noise of people talking, and poor Stephanie couldn't hear her sing. And she's got an incredible voice, by the way. So I'll go into that in a minute. So we were stumbling through Netflix at first before we went to iTunes. And I told Matt, hey, you know what? Maybe we should watch this movie, Summer of 84, which we did. It was an incredible film. The main villain in the movie, for those who don't know, is a guy who was a character in that show. Okay, I'm just drawing a blank, so I apologize. Because Mad Men. I don't even need to look it up. Yeah, Mad Men. So you saw that little blink on the screen. That was me trying to pull up another thing on my monitor. So yeah, Mad Men. The main one of the actors on Mad Men plays the villain in this movie called Summer of '84. It is very good. It's very kind of creepy. Has, I would think, an interesting ending. I think it was kind of a surprise. I thought it was well planned out, well executed. But if you're a fan of, I'm trying to think, like Stranger Things, which I'm a big fan of, a woman at work told me, you got to watch it. So I did. The new version of It, which was really good. I liked it. At first, I refused to go see the movie It. I remember that TV series on the novel of It, and I didn't like it at all. It was horrible, in my opinion. So I was not really interested in going and seeing the movie. And then I finally plunked down some money, and I think I rented it or bought it on iTunes or Amazon or something like that for streaming of the movie It. And it was like, wow, this is really good. I like this. This is really good. So anyway, where am I going with this? Well, there's another thing on streaming now, on Netflix, by the way, which I didn't realize it came out, but it was the show. It's called The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. So that is actually under the same umbrella. If you watch Riverdale, it's the same umbrella because they're both Archie, the comic books. So I was actually looking forward to this because I actually got into, I'm a big fan of Melissa Joan Hart. I adore her. I saw her in person, and she was pregnant at the time. I saw her in person at a convention. Very lovely girl. And I said, hey, and it was like, she's probably thinking, boy, this guy's creepy, because I'm like watching. I said, hey, I liked her. She also played Sabrina. There was a comedy version of Sabrina the Witch. For those who don't know, let me step back one moment. Sabrina the Witch is part of Riverdale, which is part of Archie Comics. It's all the same universe. It was comic books from years ago called Archie Comics. And the main theme was Archie, but then they had a darker side. Not as dark as the TV series they just actually released now. It just came out on Netflix. And it's about Sabrina the Witch. Well, Sabrina was actually made into a television series that actually did quite well with Melissa Joan Hart. Now, I loved Melissa Joan Hart back when she was on Nickelodeon, when she was a little kid. She was really funny, really cute kid. And and it was on the show Clarissa Knows It All. I was like, wow, I love Melissa Joan Hart. She's very funny. It was a very 90-ish style show. She was only a little kid at that time. Melissa Joan Hart had went on to do other things, but one of the things she did was they made Sabrina the Witch into a teenage witch, into a TV series, which was really good. Actually very funny. I love that one. Actually, I personally like Melissa Joan Hart's version better than the new one. Now, the new one is very dark. It is very dark. They made that clear. This is not your normal Sabrina the Witch from the comic books. It's a much darker version. I believe Melissa Joan Hart was almost, not technically, but since she was the star of the TV show from back, I forget when. I'm trying to look when that came out. Okay, it said 1996 to 2003. Well, when she played that part, she kind of owned the character after a while. Even though it's based upon a comic book, she owned the character. So when they wanted to reinvent Sabrina for this new series, because Riverdale was doing really well, which just came out last year, the show Riverdale, they wanted a darker version of Sabrina the Witch. They reinvented the show. It's got all the same characters, but in a different light, and it is very dark. So I watched the pilot before I went on. I told Stephanie I was going to do a show about her, and here I'm talking about all this other stuff. But I think I mentioned in the text, I texted her, I said, well, I'm very long-winded, so you have to forgive me on this, because I really am. So I watched the first episode. It was interesting. Now, one thing that kind of stuck out, I shouldn't know this stuff, but I do. The character Sabrina, her boyfriend, I remember the character being on the other TV series, because obviously it comes right from the comic book. And God forbid, I can't remember his name right now. So Harvey, because I remember Harvey being in the comedy with Melissa Joan Hart. Harvey is the character of Sabrina's boyfriend. So, but I didn't recognize, was like, this guy looks so familiar who's playing Harvey. And then I had to look it up on Google, or as my father would say, Googles, because he gets everything incorrect. I just spell things. I spell things wrong, and I can't read very well. And I was an English major in college. But it's Ross Lynch. So Ross Lynch is very well known for being, I believe, on Disney on a lot of different shows. So his hair, he's got blonde hair. So on this show, he's got dark hair. And it was like, why does this guy look so familiar? And it was like, okay, that's Ross Lynch. He's playing Sabrina's boyfriend. And I like the guy. And by the way, he sings also. So I don't know if Stephanie does listen in. Ross Lynch is also a singer. He's a very good singer as well. Maybe not as good as Stephanie, but he's up there. How's that? So anyway, and there's another person I have a Love Jones for. Her name's Michelle Gomez. Now, she played on the new Doctor Who, the evil, villainous Time Lord from Doctor Who, known as Missy. Well, Missy was, before, Time Lords aren't human beings, and they can transform their body into someone else, looking like a totally different person, for those who don't know. So Michelle Gomez replaced a character I grew up with in the 70s. He actually started in the 70s and went on for the whole entire series. Sorry for me clearing my nose and my throat. Sorry about that. That sounds disgusting. I apologize. Michelle Gomez plays the Master as a woman, and I did not like it. Now, Michelle Gomez is a very attractive woman. She's an incredible actress. She's very funny, too. If you see her do behind-the-scenes stuff, she's incredible. But the point is, she played a villain on Doctor Who. Well, now she's playing a villain on Sabrina. And you couldn't pick anybody better because Michelle Gomez, she's really good. She is a really good actress. I just don't appreciate making her into a character I grew up with. And by the way, if you did not know this, Michelle Gomez, who is now on Sabrina the Witch, she's British. So it's pretty funny. She's like a British woman. She covers her accent completely on at least the first episode that I had seen of her on Sabrina. I don't know how the Brits do that. They can really just cover up their accents. So It's really cool. Yeah, and Michelle can play. She's an attractive woman, but she can play the sinister character pretty damn well, and she pulls it off. I mean, like to the extent of pulling the wings off a fly. I mean, she's just that good. I'm just trying to make some type of metaphor. I didn't do a very good job. So I'm going to try to go in and explain a little bit about Stephanie now. Stephanie Grace. She is from, again, she's from around here. I mentioned this already, Douglasville. And a friend put it up on Facebook. Like, they just randomly post things from around here. Oh, so-and-so is playing around here. And it's not Stephanie, but I think they don't realize sometimes they just do this stuff. My friend Todd does this as a goof. Like her post, oh, so-and-so is playing here. So they put up Stephanie. It was like, wow, who's this? And it was like she's playing in Pottstown, and she's a country singer, by the way. I think she expands out from that. But, I heard her little sample and was like, wow, Stephanie is really good. She's only 21 years old. She's very young. But I heard her, and it was like, she's incredible. She's really good. And anytime, I've said this before numerous times, anytime somebody from this area is popping up, because we had years ago, I mentioned to Stephanie, she wouldn't know who it is. There was a band called the Bloodhound Gang. They came out of this area, like Pottstown, I believe, or somewhere around there. And they were popular for quite a while. They were on MTV. That's before Stephanie's time, but they were on MTV and everything like that. So, and then obviously you have Pink, you have Will Smith as far as singers, and also you have Taylor Swift, who was from Pennsylvania. Now, Stephanie said years ago, before Taylor Swift, made her change from country to the mainstream, Stephanie did open up for one of her concerts. I said, Stephanie, that's really great. I mean, that's incredible. Again, Stephanie, she's a very cute girl. She's got an incredible voice. I'm hoping the best for her, and I think she will be successful, in my opinion. I think she really will be. I'm not going to even say that she should be. I think I actually would have to lean towards definitely. And she's got, I texted her. I don't know if she'll understand what I meant by that, because a lot of people, I don't understand it. But I've heard it before, and a friend mentions it about himself, my friend Todd, that I said, Stephanie, you wear your heart on your sleeve, which is a good thing, by the way. Because that basically what it means, if you wear your heart on your sleeve, you are, a sincere and a kind person, and she really is. She, is very, very nice to people. Doesn't matter who it is. When I saw her last night, I can't speak minus what I saw of her last night. And she's going to, when she gets a little bit more popular, which I believe she will, she's not going to have time to write back Walter about, this or that or other thing. But when she's still small, I told her, I said, when you become bigger, you're gonna forget about us. So I did try to get a photo with her, and I said, listen, hey, when you start getting big, and I'm not joking, you're not going to do this stuff for free. You're going to be charging like $500 or whatever. Because a lot of these younger people, they get popular and they start charging. I don't see that with her, but you never know. So, but I did listen. She did one thing that stuck out, because it was really hard to hear her last night over all the talking. And Stephanie did tell me that I can't play very loud. They told me in the band. And wasn't her actual regular band. She has a band. She does have some type of record deal, I believe she said, with, where is that where, country singers go? I want to say Tennessee, but that's not. Nashville. So I should read what she wrote down. So I kind of glanced over it, and I was like, Stephanie, hey, you're great. I was glad to see you. I'm glad, you were, reach out to people when you still can. And, what was I going to say? I got to actually meet somebody who I know is going to become much bigger than she is now, much bigger celebrity. I really feel that too. So anyway, she has a bio on her page. I'm afraid to read this and just really mess it up, because I'll try to read a little bit. It says, in both miles and metaphors, a 12-hour drive from Douglasville, Pennsylvania to Nashville is a considerable distance. So I already messed that up. It says miles in metaphors. Pennsylvania to Nashville is, a considerable distance. With her blossom career As an ascendant artist, it is an inspiring journey that Stephanie Grace knows well. So I don't want to read too much. In fact, I probably won't read anymore because I know I'll just really screw it up. Now, my friend Matt asked her, do you write your own songs? And she said she did not, but now I'm seeing on here, it says a songwriter with something essential to say, a gifted singer, which she definitely is, and a charismatic live performer who has opened shows for platinum artists like Taylor Swift, I already mentioned, Scotty McCreery. I don't listen to these besides Taylor Swift. That's as far as it goes. So I'm sorry for messing up the gentleman's name, Stephanie. John Michael Montgomery, Josh Turner, and the Charlie Daniels band I did hear of. Stephanie Grace is dedicated to country music. In the mind of Nashville is the heart of all music, she says. It's overwhelming, but it is a good way. It is in a good way. So again, I just screwed up that whole thing, so I apologize, Stephanie. And I even kind of texted her. I said, "Hey, I would have loved to even do. I can do it on my cell phone. I can do a podcast on the cell phone. I've done that before because I forgot about him. Stephanie would not know this guy, but back when I was younger, there was a guy named oh God, Matt's probably laughing right now. I did an interview with him. Tommy Conwell and the Young Rumblers. He still plays, but he plays at local bars for free, just like Stephanie plays at smaller places herself. So, Tommy Conwell's from Philadelphia area himself. So that's another one I even forgot to mention. But, Stephanie has actually 2 EPs out. Now, I did purchase them from her. And I would have done it either way. I even bought a T-shirt because she's only asking like $12 for any of her merchandise, and that's not that bad. I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, it's probably costing her money just to get this stuff made up, these labels for these CDs and the T-shirts. But I wanted to give a little money because everything was free last night. Not the food that I ordered, but actually seeing Stephanie. She did that for free. So. I just I can't say enough. I think she's really good. And again, I don't want to read any more of this because I just know I'm going to screw it up, and I don't want to do that for Stephanie. So it might be even actually a short one, on that thing because I wanted to kind of dedicate it to her. Now, if Stephanie does listen to this, Stephanie Grace, and she would love to do a podcast, even if it's over the phone, I've done that before. Or again, she will be playing somewhere else. I got to look at her tour dates because I'm not going to read any more of that bio and totally screw it up. But, she's really good. She's really good. She actually has her band. And, again, I think she said she started doing this thing of playing music like in an actual band back when she was 17. And she's only 21, so that's really good. That's really good. And she's got an incredible voice, but she did play a cover song of Fleetwood Mac, and it was breathless. I mean, she was just really good. She was incredible. Let me see where she's playing next. Because if you're from like Pennsylvania and the Pottstown area, even if you're not country, I would still say please just support the poor girl because she's really good. Again, and I think people, from her hometown, even Pennsylvania, period, should kind of like check her out and see that I'm not making this stuff up. Okay, well, she's played actually 2 more shows this year around this area. She said she really doesn't want to pick up and move to Nashville right now because she's got loved ones, family members, and other things around this area, so she doesn't want to pick up. And I don't blame her. That's what makes her unique is the fact that she is more, of family oriented. The family keeps her grounded, I think, and that's good. I think that's really good because I think, once you start moving out and you kind of lose touch with the family, then you kind of lose who you are as a entertainer, a music entertainer at least. So that's good. I mean, eventually, I think if she gets big, she's going to probably need to tour, outside of her Pennsylvania. She probably will tour the States. I hope for her sake, because she's really good. Anyway, I actually saw last night, because I have Google Play, that she's on there. I don't know if she knows that, but she's on Google Play. She's probably on a couple other things too. So anyway, there's some place called Tawny. Am I saying that correctly? On November 10th, she's going to be playing there. It still works. It's in Pottstown, PA. So it's like a winery place, and she's going to be playing there, and that's absolutely free. Now, that's outdoors, and I hate to be a baby. I would love to see her, and I told her I definitely will try to make it out. She asked me if you could come and take some more pictures, because the pictures I had taken weren't that great. It's not Stephanie. It was me. It was the light in the building. I mean, she's incredible looking. The band was great. They did an excellent job. I wanted to get some good pictures. Now, normally, I told Stephanie, at any given concert, I'll take between 300-400 pictures. Last night, for some reason, I only had taken like 12. So why take so many pictures? Because you're guaranteed. Like, I've taken like 400 pictures and only were able to pull out for like once a day. Okay, hey, these are great. About like 5 pictures. I'm not even joking. So 12 pictures, you're guaranteed not to have one good picture. You have to take a lot of pictures to get that one that just is what you're looking for. And I did not do that last night because it was a small place. People are trying to eat and be loud, and I felt bad for Stephanie on that. But that being said, it just, it was like, wow, I don't want to be like a total nuisance. Hey, what's this guy doing? He keeps on taking pictures around while we're trying to eat. So I just kind of, and she had it appeared to be like her loved ones. I don't want to be I don't know how else to put it. I don't want to be a dick about it. So I try to be kind of nice. And again, she's very friendly, very nice young lady. So it means more to me if you meet somebody who is, like Stephanie, very talented and is really down to earth. You don't see that very often. I try to mention that. I don't do a very good job when I type things out or text it on a text. Generally, what you're really thinking and the way it comes across are two different things. So that's the main thing. So anyway, I'm not going to pronounce and destroy this name, but November 10th. Again, it's the last part, which I can read because it's only a couple letters. It's some winery, and the last 2 words are Still Works in Pottstown, PA. So, and it's free. It's absolutely free. Go out and see Stephanie. So, if it makes Stephanie feel any better, once in a blue moon, I've got a listener from Canada. One listener, unfortunately. One from Italy. They sporadically come up, Germany. So, not that they really care what I'm saying. They probably accidentally stumbled upon my show and they turned it on and was like, what's this guy talking about? He sounds like an idiot. So whatever. And then she's playing in her hometown. She's from Douglasville, like I said, and it's called Amity Township Winterfest. So that would be really awesome too. I'm not sure. I did have, she no longer lives there. I have an aunt, my mother's sister, who lived out in Douglasville. So I think Stephanie wrote in her thing that it's a very small town. I thought I read somewhere where she put it's only like 500 people. So, yeah, but it's really cool. I'm not really growing up in a small town of less than 500 inhabitants. Yeah, so yeah, she grew up in a very small town. Or is she referring to elsewhere? I don't know, because I'm kind of reading this out of context, so I apologize. But again, I'm not really a country listener. I don't listen to country music. That would be the last on my list. But hearing Stephanie, she sounded much more like, not the same, because I don't want to say, well, she's a copycat, because she absolutely is not. She does her own thing. Stephanie does her own thing. But she reminds me of, if I had to like put her in a category, she definitely reminds me of Taylor Swift. So she's got a lot of opportunity. Now, the thing was, I think that kind of hurt Taylor Swift. In some ways, she went mainstream, which I don't mind because I do listen to more pop music. But there is an issue when you do that, because you lose your core audience, which I think Taylor Swift at this point may have done. I mean, there's girls, young ladies who grew up listening to Taylor Swift. I'm one of the unusual people. I'm a guy, 51 years old, and I listen to a lot of music for younger people because I never grew out of listening to certain types of music. And then I stumbled upon like people like, which I met her in person before. I got a meet and greet picture with her. It was Victoria Justice, the girl from iCarly. I met her, Miranda Cosgrove, and she was really fun to meet too. I met her. I met Sabrina Carpenter in person, and it's not like, hey, what are you, a dirty old man? No, I do it because these kids have talent, and I'm going to go see them because they have talent, and it's something I grasp onto. I mean, yeah, you do it because it kind of reminds me of my youth, but at the same time, it just makes me feel good listening to their music because they have something to say, and I want to hear it. And they are very talented. So I actually, another young lady I thought was really talented, I don't like the direction she went, was, and I did see her. I didn't get to do a meet and greet, though. But I did see down in Philadelphia, I think it was like last year or 2 years ago now, I can't remember, was Miley Cyrus. And she's very talented. Miley Cyrus, you can pick on her all you want, but she's an incredible singer. And she went off the deep end and she changed. She wanted to break away from the whole Disney thing, and she wanted a different direction. And, she still got the talent, but, and her mother, her godmother is Dolly Parton. So that's kind of crazy. I mean, she's got Dolly Parton. I mean, you can't get any more country than that. That's Miley Cyrus. That's her godmother. And it's like, I hate to say, but you're kind of disgracing your godmother. You're great. You've got so much talent, for a young lady, Miley Cyrus, and you just ruined your life by trying to just act like, oh, I'm doing salvia and I'm doing, I'm doing drugs and stuff. I mean, what are you doing? What kind of role model are you setting for like young kids? You're not setting a role model. You're actually doing the opposite. So things like that, or people who go too far off the deep end, they let the fame and fortune get to their head, which Miley, I think, did. Taylor Swift, I don't think she did. She just changed her direction in music. So, but the problem is there was a lot of young people, young ladies and stuff. They look up to people like Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus. I worked in a daycare center. I basically just cleaned in there. But the kids were really cute. They were cool. And the one mom and all the little kids, I mean, it was a daycare. The kids loved Hannah Montana. And I actually stumbled upon it because I was like, that's all I ever heard of. Was this? What is this about this Hannah Montana that everybody loves with Miley Cyrus? So I ended up watching a little bit of it. Like, I had to see what these kids are into. And I loved the show. I thought it was so funny. It was so adorable. But then when Miley Cyrus just went a different direction, it was like, you had these kids that are tweens growing up on this show with you, and you just, destroyed that image, and one woman who her daughter was part of this daycare, and she was also like a, one of the teachers at this daycare center. She said, I won't let my daughter watch that show any longer because Miley Cyrus has just become really like gross almost. I don't know how else to put it. She became a horrible person. Now, I love old Miley Cyrus. I loved her music. I actually bought and watched that movie more than once of the Miley Cyrus Hannah Montana movie, and I thought that was great. That film was incredible. Taylor Swift was in there too. So, but it was an adorable film. It was a kids film, but it's great. Who was another one? Some of these Disney kids that really have a lot of talent. Damn, I'm drawing a blank. Gomez, Selena Gomez. She was really good. I saw her twice, and you know what? She really pulls in. I went to 2 of her concerts down the Man Music Center years ago, and Selena puts on an incredible performance, But you know what she draws a lot in is a lot of Latinos. Excuse me. Because she is like of Latino descent. Selena Gomez. There's, that's how she got her name. I think her mom named her after Selena, the singer, before Selena Gomez. And, she kept it clean for quite a while. I think she still kind of does, Selena Gomez. I kind of lost track of her. But she was really good. Very good entertainer, though. So, but you know what? I think they want to go a different direction now, a lot of these entertainers. So now, in my feeling is my belief that, this is a perfect time for, excuse me for a minute, for Stephanie to like step in because, she's very talented. She does sing, country music, maybe a little bit different. She said she doesn't write her own songs to Matt last night, I believe. But some of those songs sound like they had to be written by her because they're more personal. So, and that's what country's about. It's more about your personal, your personal life. They're more like they are inclusive or whatever. They include you. Stephanie does, I think, in her songs, at least one I heard. I'm waiting to get her CDs because I want to actually be able to listen to them a little bit more closely and clearly without people talking over poor Stephanie. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some of her pictures and yeah, she definitely draws the younger crowd more so Miley Cyrus did back in the day. And Taylor Swift had a large group of young ladies that followed her. So, but now Taylor Swift, I think she's trying to, what is she, in her mid-20s? She's still really young. But, what are the younger generation of kids going to listen to? Even older people like myself, old people like myself. What are we going to listen to? We don't have really that much. And Stephanie is definitely, is going to be, in my opinion, the new up-and-coming country singer that is going to appeal to everyone, not just little kids, but everyone. So I'm actually looking forward to that. I'm actually looking forward to getting Stephanie's EPs. She's got, again, believe she has 2 out. Very friendly person, very approachable. Because some people, they're not approachable. They kind of overstep their boundaries. I'm big now, so I don't know who you are. Not that they sometimes do it intentionally, probably, but they seem that way. So it's kind of funny, by the way. I don't know if Stephanie knows this. A friend of mine, you wouldn't know who he is. His name's Rich Minjan. He actually works with this guy at his place. He works for some type of IT. He does IT work because I really shouldn't even mention anymore. But he's a computer expert, my friend Rich Minjan. And one of the guys that work with him said that he went to middle school or high school with Taylor Swift, and he said that she wasn't a very nice person. So that being said, I don't see that with Stephanie. She is very, very lovely person, very friendly. I don't think she would have, I can't say much. I met her once, but she seems like she's the type of person who would not have one mean bone in her body. So that's to me that's her in a nutshell as far as I've seen her. I hope I can see her again. I can't guarantee anything, but I would definitely like to take some better pictures and just kind of put these pictures her way so she could either post them herself excuse me, or get to okay, hey Stephanie, can I put these pictures up? But yeah, Stephanie Grace is her name. I'm just kind of saying the same thing over and over again. Yeah, to me it was a real treat because it cost me no more than what I paid for my meal ticket. So, or the meal that I bought last night. So that part was really good. And once again, I just want to make sure, I would like to, I think, I don't want to burst anybody's bubble, but I'm not going to, but I think she's definitely heading in the right direction. Very talented. And I like to say for myself that, hey, I knew Stephanie Grace when she was still around here. And, that I could actually say, hey, this is a neighbor of mine. Not like directly, like I could walk across the street, but she's like a neighbor of mine that was very friendly and still is, and, who's got like a lot of talent, and, I'm glad to see it's paying off. Now, I'm looking at her webpage, and she does have posted that she has her stuff on iTunes as well. So again, yeah, I just can't say enough. And I really wanted to kind of reach out to, like, kind of personalize it, even though I kind of went in the kind of different direction talking about other TV shows and stuff. But now I have my room a lot darker tonight, so you won't be able to see. There's a joke, by the way. The prior episode I did with my friend Todd Thomas, he came down to visit. He now lives with his mom because, unfortunately, God, I'm sorry to say his father had passed away just about 2 years ago now. So it's kind of hard for him still. But he came down to give me a visit, which was really cool. Friend Thomas. And we're talking now. You couldn't hear him, by the way, in the podcast because we were goofing off. We were buying stupid, going to these. I'm a big kid. I mean, I'm not going to hide. I'm a big kid. So we're going to all these different Halloween shops and stuff. And to me, that's like Disney World. Going to, because I like horror themes. I love horror movies. Halloween is my favorite time of the year. So I'm like, I've never grown out of like the age of a little kid. So I collect stuff like a kid. And one thing I do, and I didn't mention this, I sent some pictures to Stephanie. I'm a big fan. I've been for a couple years now, but I'm a very big fan of Lady Gaga. Which, by the way, I don't know if Stephanie knows this, but Lady Gaga's real name is Stephanie. Now, her last name is Italian because Lady Gaga she's Italian. She's from New York City, but she's Italian. I forget her last name. Excuse me, I keep on clearing my nose and throat. That's really disgusting. And coughing now, too. This is even better. I think I just have a dry throat. But, yeah. Now, what is that? What else could I say? Okay, who is the biggest entertainer, like, and now is going to be making an album, believe it or not, with Metallica, is Lady Gaga, a.k.a. for Stephanie out there, if you listen to this show, Stephanie. So, and look how big Lady Gaga is. So I'm just letting you know, Stephanie Grace, that you will be the next entertainer in country music. And maybe more. Who knows? Because, you have a very talented voice. You can go many different directions with that voice. And don't give it, don't give up. I was going to say to her, but I don't want to text all the stuff out. You know what? Years ago, I had a dream, like, try to get into movies, either behind or in front of the scenes, even try to learn how to sing. I can't play an instrument. I'm god-awful at anything. If you put something in my hands that's like some type of instrument, I guarantee you I'll probably end up breaking it. Not intentionally, I'm just that bad. So, yeah, I'm not musically inclined. I know how to listen to music, but I can't play it, so that's two different things. But yeah, Lady Gaga was another one I'm a big fan of. I'm like beyond a fanboy. So getting back to that podcast I did with Todd, he was making a joke because you look in my room, it looks like a toy store because I got all these different I call them action figures. Let me do it this way and into the camera. Action figures. So I had to use the quotations. So Todd was picking me about this. He comes in here and is like, you got a lot of dolls. So that's like the joke with Todd now with me. Insult me about all my dolls. And that's what this is. Like, it's an action figure, Todd. That's an action figure of the new Doctor who is a lady this time. Jodie Whittaker. Because I keep on saying Jodie Whittaker, but it's Jodie Whittaker. This is a action figure. And it is called a doll, by the way, this time, of the nun from that movie, The Nun. But it's like one of these living, what do you call it? Living dead dolls or whatever. So if you go in the other direction, you can't see this if you just listen to me. But if you see where I'm pointing over, over there, in the back, the foreground, whatever you call it, the background, I have a whole shelf just dedicated to my shrine to Lady Gaga. And there's these dolls people buy, like they'll buy these dolls, take them apart and rebuild them into something they call them, I believe it's called ook dolls. It's a lot of O's and a CK or just a K. So I just call it ook. And these are like custom-made dolls into whatever you want to make them into. But they take Barbie dolls, they tear them apart, and they rebuild them. So, and they can get rather expensive. So I collected ones you will find on Google searches that I actually bought. Like, I have the only one. That's what makes an ook doll even more interesting, because there's only one of those dolls, because they're custom made by people who just take these dolls, you know, a Barbie doll or something else, they tear it apart and they redesign it. So I got like a whole shelf, a bookshelf of Lady Gaga dolls with her different costumes on these action figures, dolls, whatever you want to call them. So Todd busted me on that, and I have other action figures. Maybe I should go like this onto the camera again. Action figures of, like, because I'm a big Doctor Who fan, but I've been collecting these dolls since I was like 12 years old, so I haven't stopped collecting them. Now, the only problem is I'm not like 40-year-old virgin, because I actually take them out of the freaking boxes. And a lot of times I don't have room for all these paper boxes, which I shouldn't do, but I throw them out. So that's another no-no. So my box for this doll, the one of Doctor Who right here, I'm holding it up. That one I actually kept the box for, but it's going to end up getting thrown out eventually, like everything else. But yeah, I waste a lot of money. Matt or say, see, you're admitting to it now. Well, I buy stuff that I like. I like collecting certain things. Is it going to be worth anything in centuries from now? Probably not. But it's just out of enjoyment, because like I collect, big fan of Friday the 13th movies. I met a lot of the actors from those movies and stuff. I was going to say TV show. It was a TV show, but not the same. But there was a TV show called Friday the 13th, which I watched that too. But on my wall, which you can't see because it's so dark, actually all three pictures that I'm waving my arm up and down are from the campground they shot Friday the 13th in Blairstown, New Jersey. Todd and I have gone there a couple times. I've been there like several times already, meeting up with people, talking to people from Blairstown, because only the first movie was shot there. The rest were shot elsewhere. So, but yeah, I mean, some of the stuff people see I collect, they think they're walking into a not even a teenager's room, but a kid's room. So, but that's just me. Hey, that's what I enjoy. I'm not harming anybody. Now, if certain people seeing this, they're probably thinking, was it in American Horror Story where there's that one season, there's a guy who has a room full of dolls? I think that was where it was at. You know, this guy was like really crazed and goofy, and he was a butler, and he had like a room full of dolls, like you couldn't walk on the floor. I'm not quite that bad yet. I'm trying to work to get there, though. I'm trying to work to be that crazy lunatic that has dolls everywhere. So I'm being sarcastic, just in case Stephanie would actually listen to this for some deranged reason. I'm just kidding. But yeah. So anyway, and that's another thing. Maybe Stephanie feels the same way, but I know I've said this before. In case she would listen to the show, I don't know if she would or wouldn't, because it's going on over an hour now, or close to it. But when I'm behind the mic, like I was the same way when I was doing camera work, doing like stupid videos, and I put them up on YouTube after I was done my degree in communications. I feel more at ease. I feel more that I can come out of my skin, or out of my shell, I should say, when I'm on the mic. What I'm doing right now, I can be more open, definitely more honest, and less uptight when I'm doing these podcasts than I can when I talk to a person directly. So I don't know why it's like that, but it's like, it's my, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It's like my fortress of solitude. It is like my TARDIS interior where nothing can harm me almost. I don't know. So that probably doesn't make much sense. But the bottom line is, I don't want to go off on me again. I actually did want to mention about Stephanie. I think I did a pretty good job, but it was only for 30 minutes, if not less. But yeah, definitely people who may listen to me, please check out Stephanie Grace, because I know I did this. I feel bad still. This was almost like a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago now. I met this guy from Canada named Butch, and he did his own type of music. Really good. He was from Canada. I met him up in Wilkesboro. And whoops, there goes my screen. And yeah, I said, dude, I'm gonna plug your show and your music, and I never did. And I honestly did not do it intentionally. I just totally forgot about it. Because my mind just kind of drifts after a while. I forget things. And it's more than just old age, I think, because I've been like that for years. So anyway, you know what? I should cut this off. It's going up on exactly 1 hour right now, and this is perfect. It's going to be a little longer when I put my credits in. So everyone, have a good night. This is Walter from iWalter. And yes, I am signing off for now. Have a good one.